Republicans right now are turning toward authority to establish truth, whereas liberals, leftists, libertarians, true conservatives, if such a thing still exists, are all turning toward truth to try to establish authorities. And that's the reason why it doesn't feel like you can have a productive conversation about Trump with a Republican anymore. You are arguing two completely different things when you're arguing whether or not this guy is a good president. When I say Trump is a bad president, I'm saying there are material, concrete, reality things that he does and says and believes that are bad for material, concrete, real reasons. But when I'm talking to a Republican and they say Trump is a good president, all they're arguing is that he should be viewed as an authority figure because they turn toward authority to establish truth. So as long as he's an authoritative figure, he is to be believed, he is to be followed, he can do no wrong. Why do Trumpists argue that Trump is an authority figure? Well, sometimes you get an odd argument about like some weird biblical prophecy. A couple years ago, you would still get the argument that he's a good businessman. But although I think most Republicans have given up on that at this point, the main arguments you get for why Trump should be viewed as an authority figure is, one, because he is an associate of the Republican Party and the Republican Party can do no wrong. Not just an associate, he is the leader of the Republican Party and the Republican Party is perfect, therefore Trump is perfect, therefore he is an authority figure. Or number two, they will argue he is strong. Therefore, he's an authority figure. Therefore, he is the truth. He is the light. Everything he says is true. Everything he does is the right thing to do because he is, quote unquote, strong. He is obviously weak, right? There's a reason everybody hates him. There's a reason why he has to make these crazy end runs around the Constitution and do all sorts of illegal shit to try to get his stuff done. He cannot do the job of president, so he is trying to cosplay the job as king or emperor to try to project strength when he actually doesn't have any. But think about that when you hear Trumpists defending Trump, right? It's so hard to get them to engage with the words coming out of their own mouth. It's so hard to get them to actually think about reality, because they're not defending Trump's record in a material world. They are defending his status as an authority figure, because for the Republicans, authority establishes truth. For the rest of us, truth establishes authority. Trumpism is absolutely a cult, and if you want to see that in real time, try this experiment. Ask a Trumpist, ask a Trump supporter, what is something about Trump you hate? What is a policy or a thing that he did or an action that he took that you disagreed with? They won't answer. They'll give like really weird, like half-assed, mealy-mouthed, really trivial answers, not thought-out answers. They'll actually look scared while they're answering, right? Now, on the opposite end, if you ask a liberal or a leftist, what is something you hate about Joe Biden? Get ready for a 45-minute just like diarrhea of words, right? Like they have deeply thought-out criticisms, all sorts of stuff that makes them angry about that guy. Why is that? It's because liberals and leftists are people who are looking toward truth to establish authority, right? So they're analyzing the world. They're criticizing ideas. They're looking for information. They're thinking things through, right? So they had this really deep analysis of all these problems that they stumbled up on when they were evaluating Biden and his performance and whatever. But with a Trumpist, that mentality is authority establishes truth. So Trump needs to be an authority figure in their minds. Having any questions or doubts about the guy undermines his authoritativeness, undermines his status as an authority figure. You're either an authority figure or not. It's like a binary in their minds. So to have a criticism of Trump is to admit to themselves or to their in-group or whatever that they don't fully see him as an authority figure. I'll point out, too, that this is the mentality of progressive Christians versus evangelical Christians. I am not a Christian. My parents were not Christians. I was not raised as a Christian, but like it's very obvious to me that a progressive Christians, they have lots of like critiques of the Bible and complaints about the Bible and problems with the Bible and deep thoughts and doubts that they wrestle with, right? Because they are turning toward truth to establish authority. They are evaluating the truthfulness of the Bible. Whereas the conservative-minded Christian, they just say the Bible's an authority. That's it. It's either an authority or it is an authority. And because it's an authority, everything that comes out of it must be truth. It's the exact same mentality.